being right now. And
And
then
we're live. Nice.
live. Is it happening?
I see live 5 seconds running.
Oh, I guess we're live. So I'm just sitting here. Okay, hold on, because I'm on my Facebook. I'm just gonna refresh. But hi, Ricky.
Hi, how are you, Dellany?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm just dealing with the cold weather and the quarantine, that's all.
Yeah, what's going on? We have a oh yeah, we are live. I see us right now on Facebook. So we're just gonna
Yeah.
give it a seconds for people to like join us. But I think some people are probably gonna be thrown off because they don't see KT. So real quickly, everyone, KT is not feeling well. I didn't know if you were gonna go, wow, KT looks different. But no, this is not KT. This is our friend and supporter, Ricky Adams. And he is such an interesting human being. And in real time, y'all are experiencing. Ricky and I have never met like this before, have we, Ricky?
No.
Say, well, how did we? Okay, tell us about yourself. Obviously, tell us about yourself, and then let's talk about how we connected.
Okay. Now, about myself. Okay. I've been doing this social media dialoguing, connecting with people about socioeconomic topics, race, ethnicity, white supremacy, sometimes like that, for over 10 years. Been on radio shows, podcasts, just being a guest or a participator in that, almost close to being a host, but people have um, urged me to state my opinion. People like what I say. They like what my perspective is because I have a very accurate, honest perspective. Um, I first began to understand um, the whole social dynamic of race in America was when I listened to this man named Tariq Nasheed. When he said that racial terms like black, white, Hispanic didn't exist before the 1500s, I went on a witch hunt to find out why this system. Then I've started to find out, hey, Danielle, I started to find out different systems and socioeconomic systems, hierarchies that were put in place to divide and disparage people, So that's how I found out.
Okay.
Now, how did I meet Dellany? I was just looking online, just different uh, outlets, just looking on different websites, social media websites, and what came up, I was just playing around, whatever. I was just like, okay, uh, I don't know, I mistyped something, I put like curve, and then I was looking for something else, and then what had happened was it had put in, it was on YouTube, and then it said curve, then it put go curvy. I was like, go curvy, what's this? I'm like, okay, I tapped on it, and all of a sudden I see this shows like go curvy spell plus size. I'm like, okay, let me see a room. Then I see Dellany. I was like, oh, okay. And I said, okay, this is a woman have a Twitter. Then I look, and then she does. And then I go, okay, and then she has a Facebook. I was because I'm on there, and I said, okay. I was like, hey, you know what? I like what you say. I like your perspective, and I like the fact that I appreciate the fact that you are understanding of the struggle plight people of color. And I was like, and you're very beautiful too. And I just added inboxed her and said, okay, I'll add you, and left it at that. Then we started talking ever since and sharing it. She found out, and we both found out we see eye to eye on a lot of things. We don't agree on everything, but most of that we do.
Exactly. And when we don't agree on things, Ricky does exactly what a man's supposed to do. He still listens to my opinion, and he lets
Yeah,
me hasn't thought of it that way, and he sits and thinks about it instead of mansplaining to me why I'm wrong. So that is why Ricky has the privilege to be here, you guys, because I am very selective with my men who I keep, like, who I want to keep in touch with. Like, it is so important to have good men who you are connected to, and Ricky has really, listen, Ricky, I was wary, honestly, when you hit me up, because guys do that. We know that guys do that. But you always, no matter what, remained respectful to me. And
right,
like, it's not like you ever tried to shoot your shot or whatever. But like, I love that. Like, to me, it doesn't matter if Ricky's crushing on a woman or not. He still values the woman as a human being first. And
right,
it's that thing about, like, I don't respect guys who, like, basically they only talk to women who they're attracted to. You actually talk to women because they're human beings. You know what I mean? And
right.
So I have learned that about you, and I have learned to trust you over our, how we've become friends through social media,
Right.
and
Right.
now this is so exciting. Yeah, and you guys, Ricky has so many wonderful topics he discusses. He does a lot of Facebook lives. He is always thinking and like on the progressive things, and he brings up topics that some people don't want to be bothered with, and I love it, Ricky, because I'm like that too. So
Right.
it's good to we can't relax. We can't be comfortable. We don't live in that type of society when we're a marginalized voice, especially BIPOC. Like Black people can't hang out and watch Dancing with the Stars. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. I think the past 4 years, a lot of white people got so uncomfortable because they were scared of who their president is. You know what I mean? Or who their president was. And I'm thinking,
Right.
like, welcome to what Black people feel all the time. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like I know we've only got half an hour. We got to dive into things, but like, it's good to see you. I mean, happy 2021. It's already been such a
Yes. It's a new year, and
year.
I'm glad I'm past 2020. I dealt with a lot of hard issues with myself, but I've got past it. I'm just getting over the hump, and now I can move forward.
Yes, exactly. And I just myself, I'm still in quarantine. For those of you who don't know, one of the reasons why KT and I haven't been on here, it's been kind of a struggle. Both of us had to go home to take care of our family for a couple months, and it was just too hard to juggle all of this. And while I'm in quarantine, I'm trying to get back on my creative tracks. So it just feels so good to be here again. I miss KT's face, but I'm happy that Ricky is co-hosting. So Ricky, I'm gonna type in because usually we have KT. KT's the technical person, but I'm kind of taking her spot now. So you kind of
Okay.
have Dellany, and I'm the KT. so,
Okay.
so basically, if you want to go ahead, I've got to type in what our topic's about. Do you want to go ahead and like dive into it? Like, you want to let everyone know what we're about to talk about?
We are about to talk about Joss Whedon and his allegations of being abusive, unprofessional, and
And
him
AKA.
him being very grimy towards his cast members and the franchise that was a part of, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, uh, Justice League. What else? I don't know what the actors from Avengers: Age of Ultron would have to say about him because he did work on that one too. I know some of the actors on Angel might have, like Charisma Carpenter played Cordelia.
Cordelia,
Um,
one of my
yes,
that is a character who influenced me early on to be who I am. That character is iconic. I hate to say it, but I liked her more than I like Buffy. Not that it was
really,
a contest, but I related to Cordelia because she was kind of like, she's misunderstood. She came across really bratty, but she had so many layers, and the
right,
actress really brought her so much depth. And she was done dirty. The character was done dirty by a-hole Joss Whedon. So, but
yeah,
I think it's important to note, Ricky, that a Black man came out first about this publicly. Ray Fisher. What do you know about Ray Fisher?
yes. Not much. I know him from the Justice League film. I probably saw him in other works, but I don't quite remember where I've seen him because sometimes I don't recognize an actor until I recognize him. But I've seen him in other stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, he
when
basically, my understanding, and by the way, people, when I'm looking away from the computer or from this, I'm just looking at the computer trying to see your comments. But I'm
right,
listening to Ricky. Ricky's got the floor. But basically, Ray Fisher, I believe he was on a show or was on the show called The Flash. I believe that's it. But he came out publicly about some stuff that was going on, and racist, very disrespectful. It was hearsay, I guess, but there was even speculation that something was said about Ray's his skin color, and how
right,
like wanted to like maybe whitewash him more during post. And
yes,
that was okay. That's how all this stuff kind of started, right? Like that he
yes.
heard that and he popped off, rightfully so, and he popped off publicly. So what are your
hmm
thoughts?
My thought is when I first heard about it. Now I don't know if he was. Gosh, I feel like stories before that. I felt like he was accused of something He was accused of something, and then the race thing came up to kind of cover up what actually went down. Was take the heat off Joss Whedon. I can't remember what it was. I don't think maybe it was for making the women feel uncomfortable or something like. I can't remember what it was. I know it has some allegation on him, but it was that coming to light. He was removed from the film, or he was fired maybe from the sequel. But basically, when I read the article about it, and Joss Whedon told whomever does the graphics to lighten up his skin. He did look kind of light in the movie,
Right.
but I thought that was due to the CG, and I'm like, I feel like he was a little darker. He was a little more lighter than me with
Right.
lighting. I'm like, this is kind of strange.
Yeah. No, it's a lot strange and it's a lot racist because here's the problem. Like going deeper into this, we don't have enough people of color who have these jobs where they can protect, other people of color. It's usually white people, because that is how it is and it's not okay. So white people are looking at the skin colors and white people to they don't know how to work with those skin colors. It's just like it's the same problem in the makeup industry. Hair and makeup, a lot of black actresses and actors, they struggle a lot because there are not enough hair and makeup BIPOC to do these
Oh,
jobs. No, let me rephrase that. There are enough to do the jobs. It's just that they have not been hired. It's because of white people. White,
that's right.
yeah. So I feel like, this is such a problem, like in the deep structure of this, that more people of color and black people have got to have these jobs so we don't make these mistakes again, and the showrunners, there's too many. This is a problem. We started talking because you commented on my post about this yesterday, and I asked you, I was like, are you really surprised to hear this? Because I'm not. I'm really not surprised. Like, think about it. Like, this tracks. Like, you even brought up Woody Allen in an earlier thing. Like, let's talk about that.
Woody Allen. Hmm. He, God, okay. Another. It's funny. I can't remember what he did. I'm not too young. I'm like 35, but earlier works that I didn't know was associated with like a common household name you hear about. Um, Now it's surprising to me sometimes because when these popular, iconic people, quote unquote, right, who have these works of, uh, movies and TV shows growing up, it puts a stain on their projects and it
Right.
makes you look at their projects in a different light, stuff that you grew up watching, like let's say for example, the guy who played the father on Seventh Heaven, he got I don't know if you know his name, but he actually admitted to doing some.
Child predator. Like,
Yeah, yeah. It makes you look at the show and his work so like it's like, am I messed up for liking his work because it came from him? As I heard as an actor, like the parts of you when you play this role, it's actually a little bit part of you. So that means if you like his works associated with him, do you like the person inside? And that's the part where I think maybe some people struggle with when they like the stuff like, well, I like his work. I love the movies. I love this guy's music. But then someone looks at you like you're crazy.
I
And then
know
you
it's
have to argue
so
with that.
complicated. I used to be more like, I did used to be more black or white with things of like, no, if we hear, like, I'm very much like take them to burn them to the ground. I was cancel culture before cancel culture existed. So
Right.
how black or white I was about these things. Like, if I heard Woody Allen did these things, full stop, I will never watch his work again, and I will never, you know what I mean? But it's so much more complicated than that, because then, the argument is, what about the cast and crew? What about the jobs? Like, we have to watch these things. What about, but I still will not watch his work because we have enough filmmakers who we don't know about, who are not white males, who we can support. You know what I mean? And you brought up R. Kelly as well. R. Kelly, that's the problem, right? Now,
Yeah.
I do not agree. Like, I don't want to hear R. Kelly's music ever in my life. I heard you out on that. But this is how deep racism and white supremacy is, right? R. Kelly has not been given the same chance or second chance, third chance, fourth chance that Woody Allen, Joss Whedon, Harvey Weinstein, da da da. Like, I'm not taking up for him. I want to be clear. They're all garbage in my eyes. But it's very clear also, like, these white guys, they still get to keep working and working and working, and they're not fully scathed as R. Kelly is at this point. Am I right? How do you feel about that?
Um, okay. Now, what makes that, and I still wanted to say this, Black people saw what the game was. Or I saw it like coming. Like, they're going to do this with Josh Whedon too. They're
Right.
going to push Josh Whedon out. They're going to play it. They're going to have all these Sarah Michelle Gellar, Charisma Carpenter, Michelle Trachtenberg, and Amber Benson come out and say all this little stuff about him.
Yeah.
And then it's going to die down. And then they're going to come out with this black dude, T.I., Jamie, or whomever black guy they want to put in. We're one big black dude to this industry. So so they're going to bust 5 out. And
Right.
then just to take the heat off Joss Whedon, because many of these white executives, writers, CEOs are being come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If 1 or 2 get caught, you're going to see like 6 or 7 just to take the heat off them.
Right.
And when the R. Kelly thing is, black people weren't going for it. Yeah, we knew for years. There was jokes about him. Chappelle made fun of him for years. I know since I've known, heard a little bit, seen it, I guess, before I knew about it. But like, this goes all the way back to 1995 when he was allegedly at the time, and then it was confirmed years later with him and Aaliyah. So yeah, black folks knew, but we
Yeah.
weren't going for we weren't going for this guy's the evil of like of sexual predatism, and we saw what it was. It was just to take the heat off guys like Josh Whedon. That's because we're not dumb. That's
Yeah.
what we saw.
Yeah. And it's so complicated because there's also arguments and conflict within the Black community about R. Kelly, because some people believe that if you're Black or in this community, and please correct me or make me shut up if I'm overstepping my boundaries as a white woman talking about this, Ricky, because I want to be fully respectful to what you're, but my observance is that there is an argument of, just, I don't care what that person did. It's kind of like even with Bill Cosby. If they're Black, you still support them, right? And then my anger that's on the inside is coming from the fact that still at the end of the day, it's the Black women who are suffering at the hands of men in general, and then Black men. You know what I mean? So I am angry for Black women because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are still like seen as less, at the expense of just still saying, well, if they're Black, let's still support them because we already have to struggle so hard for everything, right? So that's all I'm gonna say, but I'd like to hear your opinion on that.
There are some that still support them, but not out of like, that's not the fact that I guess I can, you get split hairs when it comes to Bill, but when it comes to R. Kelly, I guess I can honestly say people were still kind of, it was more of a petty sense, like, yeah, I still live to his music because we see for what it was. They weren't like, I don't believe it, because they knew. My boss knew. We talked about it all the time. It was kind of like you hear about Kelly? Yeah, I know. But it was out of like more of a petty, kind of like, I'm still gonna bang his music because who cares? I'm like, if somebody wants to watch a movie from a child predator who from some white guy, I was like, don't tell me who I shouldn't and shouldn't listen to, because I'm like, okay, all of them need to go, but
Yeah.
don't tell me just because he looks like me, but you still listen to that movie over there. That's where a lot of the hypocrisy was coming in,
Yeah.
if you wrong, you're wrong. So
Yeah. I think they're all human garbage. There's enough independent filmmakers and musicians and artists who are out there who do need our support, who we can find, who are more talented than these people. It's just that we don't know about them. We have to look for them. We have to do that due diligence, you know. And Joss, going back to Joss Whedon, his wife wrote an essay like 5 years ago, and she dragged him publicly because there's a point that Matt made. I'm going to put that back up again about Joss Whedon. What makes the Joss Whedon thing extra sting is that he and others often champion himself as an ally feminist. But his ex-wife pointed out that he did that purposefully so he could hide behind that, so he could do all those awful things he was doing to women. Like his wife basically said that's why he even was still married to her, was so he could like still look like he was like supportive and good to women and for women. Like I that's so insidious and that's so predatory, right? Just so he could like do his disgusting, you know. What do you feel about that? Like, what's your thoughts?
That doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I kind of expertise, well, not expertise, but like I'm not surprised in is that to do your dirt, you have to say things that go against what you do to hide the things you want to do to people. So you have to say I'm against that. You know, President Trump uses videos. There's videos on him, clips saying I'm against white supremacy. But
Yeah.
Donald Trump, you know, I'm like, yeah, he said that. He had to just to save face to so Joss Whedon and what his wife did, what his wife said, that sounds typical of someone who wants to harm and abuse people.
Right.
You know, you got to hide your dirt. So I'm not surprised.
Well,
He
and
had to say,
that essay came out a few months before the Harvey Weinsteins broke out. And so I think people just decided not to make that an issue, but it was so very much part of the issue that everyone was having with Harvey Weinstein. And so Joss got to keep continuing to do what he does for 5 more years. And do you remember, like, he wrote like a Wonder Woman script and it was so misogynistic? Did you hear about that?
no. Did he? What he wrote the first one?
He wrote a Wonder Woman script that like to be considered, and it was such, you know, it was so sexist. It's actually, I believe, I'm not going to read it, but I believe that it's public. It's out there. But like this was before, I think this was before it went to Patty Jenkins, who ended up doing it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
see.
but he's not woke. Or is woke, is that word even woke anymore? You know, but you know what I mean. He's not
Yeah.
not with it. He's not. Yeah. So I mean, the thing that sucks is, again, and going back to Ray Fisher, is that that made news, fine, but then it took a lot of white women to come up and like tell their story for this to actually go viral, and that really concerns me because Ray Fisher already put it out there, but we had to add white women into the mix in order for people to care even more, you know?
Right. And I noticed that with any type of crisis or epidemic or any person, you see a black person say, "Hey, look, there's a shark in the water. I got bit." They're like, "Oh, that was you." But then once it starts happening to one person, black person, Mexicans, then when I notice that when it gets so out of hand that you see enough white people get hurt, then it's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a problem." You know, I'm like, the brother told you 5 years ago
Yeah.
and didn't listen,
Yep.
and now it affects your child.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Now you're complaining out on the streets for a problem you didn't happen to yet, and now you sit here wondering because, oh, my whole family's suffering. Yeah, but Deontay told you 5 years ago. Why aren't you listening? So
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
Yeah. No, I see it as the same way. And what sucks is that his own wife told everyone, but because she doesn't visually look like Charisma Carpenter, like nobody really listened. You know what I mean? Or it didn't go big. And I feel like even visually, it had to be a woman who is deemed very, very attractive by society standards in order for people to go, oh no, is she okay? You know? So, but I do believe all of the women. I stand by all of them. I hate to think that he's going to still be working after this. That would make me so angry. And like, of course, it just also furthers my own personal ambitions of like never wanting to work with these type of people ever in this career. You got to build your own table. You do not need to work to get to their table. Why would you want to be a part of their table, right?
Well, that's the point. I was thinking about superheroes. If you know anything about me, I really love superhero movies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For
What do you do about that? Like some of your favorite superhero movies, to know that like the guy who directed it or wrote it or both. What are you gonna do, Ricky?
well, that's the thing. Kevin Feige, who is now the sole chief director of Marvel Studios, as y'all know, right? He said earlier on, I want to say maybe when the first Avengers movie came out, he said Disney probably went to Bob Iger or somebody, said, "Hey, I don't want to work and answer to Ike Perlmutter. He's racist, he's racist, sexist, and kind of anti-Semitic." And he said, "If I have to work with this man, I'm out. I'm done." And Disney was like, "Wait. Just holler at us, talk to us, report to us." And then eventually it was a split between Marvel Entertainment and Marvel Studios. And some of the quotes that I've heard about Ike Perlmutter say, you know, the money shows what sells if you do it right. The right women writing Captain Marvel, the right Black folks writing Black Panther, the right people. You wouldn't see Tessa Thompson in Thor 3 had Perlmutter had to say something. You wouldn't see Chadwick Boseman. You would not see Don Cheadle. Or what's the other guy? I forget his name, Howard something. But you would have never seen that happen. You've never seen this diverse, big franchise film happen had Ike Perlmutter still had to be in charge of Marvel Studios. So Kevin Feige had a dream. I'm glad he crafted it together. It was a little shaky at first, but it's really good.
Matt is rooting for you, Ricky. Apparently, I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh no, I've had a lot of practice, Matt. I really have. I had a lot of practice.
That's why he's rolling with me right now. Like, you have to be able to roll with me in this way and not be intimidated, not be angry. Like, Ricky is so secure in himself. He's not bothered. You're not pressed, are you?
No.
I mean, there's a secure man. I love it. We do only have a couple minutes. Can you believe this? Boom! It flew by. We're almost done. Crazy.
I'm surprised so many people like, hey, Ricky, I'm like, I'm on a video right now. So
that happens. So
I got my family, but
let's change the subject for a second. Have you heard of Clubhouse?
Flow Cow?
No, Clubhouse.
Oh yeah, Clubhouse. You told me hours earlier. There's platforms like it. I think they should be out there somewhere, but they're not well known, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no, this is the one, Ricky. This is the one. Okay. Do you have an iPhone? Do you have? It's
no.
for
iPhone? No, I need to get one, but no, I don't have iPhone. If there's some other way I can get on, if it's only iPhone.
Unfortunately, it is, and I heard about Clubhouse a while back ago when it was beta testing, and I was like, I'm gonna have to sell out. I did not have an iPhone until I heard about Clubhouse, and I wanted to get in there so badly because it's very vital for artists and creators to be in there. Right. I literally sold out and bought a freaking. I have an iPhone now. I hate to say it, but I have an iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah. But Ricky, you would be perfect for Clubhouse. Like it's basically like live podcasting. You know what I mean? And you start your own rooms, and like you can talk about any topic you want. You can jump in on other people's rooms. It's fantastic.
I will keep my Android, but I will get an iPhone just to pop in like that. I like my phone, but because I'm an Android person, but I do like iPhones. I like the ecosystem of iPhone, but that sounds like something I want to get into.
if you can be patient, it will be available to Android users down the road. Just be patient. And as soon as it is, I'd love to invite you because I think you'd be a perfect voice in there. Don't sell out like me. Don't sell out. Tell us, I forgot, I was supposed to put your little handle like for Twitter on here, but let everyone know where we can find you. What's your Twitter? What's good? Where are you?
You can find me on Twitter. Just type in West Coast Fred,
Mm-hmm.
and you will find me on there on Twitter.
Got you.
If not, if you really, really, really need to get in contact, you can't find it, you can find me Ricky Adams 2423 on Instagram.
And also, everybody can find him through me. We're Facebook friends. We follow each other on Instagram, and we follow each other on Twitter. So Ricky is very connected with me, and he's a great voice on all my social media. So, well, y'all, this was incredible. Everybody, if you want Ricky to come back, post, comment, tell him you want to see him again, and we will get him back on with KT. We miss KT tonight. But this is a wrap, Ricky. We did it. Good job.
First time. I do want to do this again though. So depending on the topic, or something that, I mean, we could talk about almost, right. I mean, relationships, politics,
everything.
Yeah.
Like KT's probably going to be glad she didn't get in on this one because this was a little more serious. But it's okay. We needed to talk about it. So, all right, y'all. I appreciate all y'all. We have missed being on here, and thanks for everyone to take the time to be here and hear what Ricky's important opinion is on this. And please support him. Follow us. KT and I are going to be on Clubhouse tomorrow, and we will be talking about the Free Britney documentary and also misogynoir in the media. We're going to be talking about all that on Clubhouse tomorrow, but we will see y'all next week. All right, we can say bye, Ricky.
Bye, everybody. Hey, Danielle.
All right, you don't leave, Ricky. You stay.